Hello everyone. Today I wanted to make a video showing a project that I'm working on. This is going to be a project, a world building project based on a game that I've loved to play since I was a kid. It was one of my first Xbox 360 games actually, and one of the things I really love to do is I love to build worlds and write stories. So I thought I would build a world based in based on Gears of War, or inside the Gears of War world. And this is Empyrea. Empyrea is how to describe the idea that I've got. Um, Empyrea is an industrial. How would you describe it? A large industrial sector that produces enormous amounts of minerals and has lakes. Literally, you can see the lakes of emulsion. And if you know anything about emulsion, you know that emulsion is like a fungus and it just keeps growing and growing, so it's an unlimited fuel source. So probably like 100 years ago, these lakes would have been smaller. But if you know about the Gears of War lore, you also know that emulsion is a threat. It keeps growing and growing and growing, and people are worried it's going to take over the world of Sera, which is the planet in the Gears of War universe. So, yeah, I'm mostly building this world to exercise my creativity and my imagination. And this map I made using a software program called Gaia. And then I flipped the world over so it's on the top view, and I exported it into image format, and then I converted that into like a 4K image to upscale it a bit more. As you can see, like this would have been all like generated in the Gaia program. These are some symbols that I forgot to erase. I've been playing around with some of the symbols I made. Anyway, sorry. So I haven't done YouTube videos for quite a while, so I'm pretty much out of practice. I'm literally fucking talking to myself for some reason, and I know I'm not doing it to myself because I'm making the video. I'm talking to you guys, but to me, I'm literally just talking to a microphone, and it feels weird. But you got to get on with it. So I wanted to show this because maybe someone might take an interest. Someone might go, "Oh, that's cool," or someone might say, "Oh, that's shit." Anyway, I wanted to get down into. So as you can see, this is like lakes of emulsion, and since it's like rocky terrain, you can imagine that there's some serious industrial uh, going on, like mines, factories, you know, and you can. What I sort of wanted to express is how important this world is in Sera, even though it's like a fan fiction world. And basically, what I'm thinking of is that this is Empyrea is like a big, massive industrial sector that produces like the cogs, ammunition, power armor. You know the power armor stuff the cog soldiers wear, and the basically the powerful weapons, the helicopters, everything that was used in the Pendulum Wars and is constantly used in the Locust War. But the story I've sort of got like going on right now is that it'll be like 5 weeks after E Day that this world takes place, And right now, it's just a map. There's nothing on it. There's no locations. There's no mines. There's no locust. There's no car whatsoever. But in the future videos, you're going to watch me build this world bit by bit, and I'll show you my. Just making sure I'm recording. This is my database, and in my database I have characters, locations, and everything I need. I've just started this, so I'll be making a new category for perhaps lore, mythology. Maybe put a little bit of mythology in, something that happened 500 years ago in Empyrea, or maybe Empyrea was its own nation before joining the Cog. I don't know. I just thought this would be like a little fun exercise, and I really want to treat it seriously. But there's a little cool. This is Wonder Draft, by the way. It's an alright map making program, and it's alright, but it's a bit glitchy. But you can make you can sort of put down. These videos are going to be very raw, by the way. There's not going to be any professional editing. I don't know about you. I'm probably one of the few who are like this, but I really don't like professional videos on YouTube. Probably because I've been on YouTube since 2009, and I remember when YouTube was just like, people used to make whatever just for a laugh. But today it seems to be all corporate, professional. Oh, you can't say this, you can't say that, and it's just a bit underwhelming, to be honest. But I just wanted to make these raw videos, world building videos, and see if anyone takes an interest in them. So I'm showing you the map here. You can tell this is like a volcano, and this is a crater. And what I'm planning to do is I'm going to have a big massive tunnel go from the crater to the volcano. And what that'll do is it'll allow like some sort of like you can imagine as like this huge industrial tunnel, and it's got like a rail network in. It's got cranes, and it moves minerals and whatever emulsion, maybe through a pipeline. Have like a pipeline and pumps the emulsion from the lake to the volcano, or the volcano to the lake. Maybe we could build some factories here. I don't know, the world's really a canvas, and that's one of the things I just love about world building, how they're so malleable. You can change the course of lives of characters in an instant. You can kill everyone off like George R. Martin. But one thing I really wanted to do is I really wanted to make a world inside of one of my favourite worlds, one of the favourite games that I used to play. And I wanted to mention some of the characters I'm thinking of. I'm thinking about having some locust generals, and having some like in the main script, in the main story, there's going to be like two perspectives with each chapter. One chapter will be the Cog's perspective, and the next chapter after that will be the locust's perspective. And in the locust perspective, we're going to have like this, this locust. He doesn't know what the fuck to do, but then he starts to rise in the ranks, and he starts to become powerful. He starts to lead troops into victory, and he starts to be recognized by the locust hierarchy. He starts to command monsters and stuff. And I don't know what I'm doing with the Cog, but I was thinking about having doing something crazy and having Marcus Phoenix, but not Marcus Phoenix, but it's Marcus Phoenix's sister. And lore-wise, he doesn't have a sister, but if in this world he does, and she's like part of this, what's it called? Onyx Special Forces. And I was thinking about that would be cool, because maybe he doesn't like his sister. Maybe he never mentioned his sister in the original games because he was supposed to be Special Forces, and she took that away from him because there was only one allowed from the Phoenix family. I don't know, something like that. which is something I was going to go for, which is something completely different what I was going to go for, because I was going to go for, like, if you remember Kim, who got killed by General Ram in Gears of War 1, I was actually going to do a story revolved around him. But I don't know, because he was sort of like not really, his story wasn't really told, and I thought, hey, that's a good guy to tell a story about. And I was thinking maybe having someone like the Carmine family, or like a cousin of the Carmines. I don't know. But I really wanted to like show this video off because it's going to be the first of many. Yes. So, as I said, this is the database. We haven't got really much anything in here at the moment. It's just some images and templates to create characters, that sort of thing. But what we're planning to do is like fill it up like to the brim. Like you can imagine, like there's thousands upon thousands of words in this. Maybe like tons of characters. You know, making a world and all that. As I said, I'm not used to making videos, so I'm a little bit, you know, sketched out why I'm talking myself, but you just got to do what you got to do, I guess. Future locations, right? So some of the future locations is we're going to have like this big massive pit, an industrial pit, which has like huge, like you can imagine it's like on a slope. So instead of going down the pit, you go diagonally down. And as you go diagonally down, you have all these sort of mining machines and factories and all that as you descend. And it's like where they get the lithium from, it's where they get the tungsten from, chromium, all the metals they need for their wars, everything they need, and the locust want, and the locusts themselves want it. And it's easy for the locusts to get them because it's in the tunnel network. I mean, humans live atop ground, while the locusts live below ground. So if you dig below, it's more advantageous for them, isn't it? So I think that'll be a bit interesting how you could build a story from that. Like you could have like in one scene, like or in one chapter, your cog soldiers having to descend down to see what's wrong, and then they find like a bunch of corpses and they run it. You know, they got to retreat, run away, try and get out as fast as possible. And I was thinking about having like a fortress or something. Like a fortress stronghold where the cog can sort of like have a fortified position where they can land the helicopters, where they can rearm vehicles going in and out. It's like a motor pool and an armory in one. And there isn't going to be like 5 or 6 squads of cog. It's going to be like thousands of cog versus thousands or tens of thousands of locust. And I think this is actually a good map, really, because you got a lot of terrain to work with. I mean, you could have like fortified positions, you know, so you see these crevices, like these little cliffs here. You could have like cog on top of the cliffs and locusts at the bottom, or you could have like ambushes and stuff. So I think the geography is very interesting, and you could do something with the story. So the map looks really barren because it is. I mean, it's an industrial wasteland. You can imagine like sulfur, and if there is any greenery growing like here, it's like that stuff which grows in like on sulfur lakes, which this looks like, by the way. But this is emulsion, and it's cool that this is here. There's like a little island we can work with, so we could have like a secret complex. Like I was thinking we could have like a special research laboratory where they experiment and create weapons from emulsion. So you could have like emulsion bombs and stuff that detonates emulsion and causes massive massive like shockwaves, you know. Like imagine if there's like a refinery next to a city and you blow up the entire city because you blew up the refinery with this special emotion bomb. And that would be like what like a facility here would be researching. Yeah, and then you can do things like this with the map. Make a wonder graph, you can like find the distance between so and so. So you know what sort of distance you're working with. So you're not like guessing how far they have to walk, how far they have to drive. And you can do things like this. You can plot down rail networks. I think this is railway. Is it? Yes, it is. It's not the best railway. We've got a better one here. Somewhere. Yeah, this is what. This one's better. So like you could have like a factory here. Or you could have like a mine here and a factory here and like an armory. So you could like show like a logistical network of how everything is structured together. So this is going to be a massive series, hopefully. Hopefully you find this interesting. Obviously, as I make more videos, I'm going to be a bit more punctual. And I'm not going to go, So hopefully I'll just get better with making them that I actually improve socially towards speaking to a microphone. I was thinking we could have like the locust here and the cog here, and in the volcano here, the locust could fortify themselves. So you can imagine like there's a bunch of cog towns and factories here, but then suddenly the locust come out from the volcano, or what used to be a volcano, take it over, and then there's this great tunnel which goes from here to here. And you can imagine like the cog going into the tunnel, the locust going into the tunnel with corpses and brewmax and stuff, and they're just killing each other constantly and constantly. There's just this never-ending war for the tunnel, which I'm thinking about calling the pendulum tunnel. You know, like a little bit of an Easter egg to the pendulum wars. And you can tell this is like a canyon of emotion. So I was thinking about having the city of Empyrea here. And the city will be like, I don't know, maybe it'll be like this sort of ruined city. Or it's not a ruin, it's actually just a big massive city being under attack by locust and defended by cog. I mean, it is 5 weeks after E-Day. Or 3 weeks after E-Day. Something recent. So there's some more Emotion Lake. There's a Emotion Lake up here as well. And I've actually got a script of things I'm supposed to talk about. Future locations. We talked about future locations. Mention this will be into a series. Yes, talked about that. Talk about the joys of world building. I think I already did that. I think I told you about how I really love world building videos. Like, I really love like this idea that you're creating this world of people, this law, all these things. Like, I mean, everything in life, like out of labor, like everything created out of art, written, film, video game is all down to actually world building. And all the shit films and video games that are just totally crap don't actually have any world building, and they were made on the fly. So I think this is I think the idea of world building is that it's very important to creating something, and I think like it's very relaxing, like how you can sort of like, I don't know, it's like you create these stories and you got all these people and you got all these things in motion, and it's like a canvas, but it's not like a canvas of like drawing. I might actually, that's also something I want to try to do, like try to get good at drawing on this channel, so you can subscribe and maybe you'll see that in the future. But yeah, the joys of world building for me is like there's this thought that this world, like like the multiverse theory that thoughts and actions create parallel universes and stuff, and there's like this idea of like that when you create something or when you think of people and you think of worlds, you're sort of creating them, but you'll never see them, but they exist, or you can pretend they exist, something like that. It's I don't know. It's just fun, I guess. And hopefully this video has not been entertaining at all. I mean, I've been stumbling and stuttering, and I'm not used to public speaking, so yeah. That'll hopefully improve, as I said. Mention why you are making these videos. That's been abundantly clear. I make them because, I want to showcase this world, and I'm enjoying. I really enjoy world building. I've got like this whole other world, and I wrote like a whole book for it, and like no one bought the book, and I was like, oh, so that sort of like defeated me. But when you do something like on Gears of War, like everyone knows what Gears of War is, people might actually be interested, and you might get some followers. Then later on, when you get enough followers and subscribers, you can do your own original works. Whereas if I did my own original works now, no one would watch them because no one would be searching for them because they would be hidden. So this is sort of like a breakthrough. This entire world I'm building. I mean, it's nothing right now, it's just a map and some emulsion. But as we get through the series, it's going to be characters, it's going to be locations, there's going to be objects, there's going to be weapons, there's going to be tanks, there's going to be everything. You're going to be amazed at how much the world feels real, and then you'll be like, oh, I really like Scorched Glory. Like, this character, blah, 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 blah. And then you're talking to this guy, and he's just like, that's not a game, mate. But because you've been watching the series, you're like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. I've just been heavily invested, and I know all the characters and shit. It's like when you read a book and no one else has read a book. Like, say, like there's some books on Gears of War, like Asphalt Fields and all that, and if you read them, but you're talking to someone who has never read those books, they'll be like, what are you talking about? But you know all this lore, all these stories. So I'm hopefully I wanted this to be something like that. I'm going to be making lore videos as well in the future. I was going to have like some mythological videos about how people live, how people act in Empyrea. Are they happy? Are they sad? Like, if I don't think they're very happy, because I don't know. If it's an industrial sector, you're going to have not very happy people. The environment's going to be moody and drowsy. Smog everywhere, blackened skies. But at the same time, people are going to be richer because it's the center of industry. So I don't really know how it would feel. Would the rich be happy and the poor be sad? Or would the poor be actually richer than the normal poor of the rest of Sera? I don't know. So you got to work out like some sort of civil demographics when it comes to future lore, I guess, because you could have like a bunch of bandits, like a bunch of civilians, shoot at the cog and the locust. So you could have like rebels, even though there was like a post-apocalyptic event going on. So, and I'm going to be making battle simulations in the future. So one thing I want to show you is like, I want you to imagine. So these are my symbols. I made these symbols for this specifically. So like, this is like a cog general, and then oh, don't know what happened. General, and there's like 10 soldiers here, 10 soldiers there, 10 soldiers there. And then you've got a locust general. And then you've got a bunch of corpses here. And then you've got like 50 locusts here, 50 locusts there, 50 locusts here. I don't know if you can do it with paths, but let's see. Let's see if we'll make an arrow. So like in the future, like imagine like there's these, you know, those animated simulation battles you see on YouTube that have like, you know, like Hannibal during the Roman times and stuff. So like you could have like that. I don't know. So like imagine like all these things going on in the background. So like just imagine like this moving like forward and this symbol moving here and all that, you know, like just like the basic simulation stuff, because I'm not going to be doing anything advanced. I think if I'm doing anything advanced, I'd probably like pull my skull out of off my head or some shit, because like that shit takes like weeks to just animate a single battle. So something very basic, like to get the idea across. So and so yeah, that's pretty much it for the first video. I hope this has been enlightening to what I'm going to be doing for the future of this video. I'm not really going to cut these videos or professionally make them. I'm just going to upload them raw, and hopefully you might like them. I don't know, maybe that's a bad decision on my part, but I don't really want to spend like hours editing a video just so when I could be spending hours building this world. Because you can in like 2 hours, 3 hours of making a video, just trying to make yourself sound, you know, like pompous and stuff, you could actually be working on the world, and you could be making like 10, 20 characters, or you could be building locations, and everything like comes to life then. It's just great. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe. I don't know what subscribing and liking does nowadays, but I think it gets the video out there. It used to be that when you subscribed, you would see the videos in your feed, but now it's not like that anymore. They've made it so if you subscribe, it doesn't actually do anything. But I'm not really sure. I think subscribing helps the channel grow in a way to counteract like all those channels that don't actually get subscribers, which sort of like push those annoying little videos that don't actually get any views, if you know what I mean. I'm not making any sense, but yeah, so please give me a like, and I'll see you in the next video, whenever that may be. And I do want to reiterate that I will be writing an entire story based on this world, so you can basically just play it like an audio book when it's complete. I don't know, whenever that is. So yeah, thank you again, and I'm just going to end this here. Toodaloo. See you in the next video.